We are on. Okay, first one is a definition. Bisect. What do you think it means to bisect? Last Friday we talked about being between two things. Bisect?
Being around two things?
Nope. Bisect and dissect tend to get confused. Dissect is what you do in biology. Yeah, dissect is to cut things apart and look at the innards. Bisect. If I bisect a candy bar or bisect a pie, what do you think I'm doing?
Eat it?
Nope, not eating it. How am I splitting it?
In the middle.
Right in the middle. So bisect does mean right down the middle. So to bisect something means to divide something into two congruent parts. So we're talking about objects, pies, segments, candy bars, my favorite. Okay. What do you think midpoint is? The definition's kind of right in the word, yeah.
The point where it's cut.
Cut where? Cut specifically?
Right in the middle.
In the middle. It's the point that is the middle. So, the midpoint is the point that divides a segment forgot to tape on my microphone here. Divides a segment into two congruent segments. Okay, so the way you're going to see that in a picture, say you've got a segment AB. We're going to put point M right in the middle. Right in the middle. Now, you can't leave it like that and expect someone to think that that's right in the middle. Even though you made it look like it's in the middle, we've got to add something to the picture to tell someone, yes, that is right in the middle. What can I add to that picture to tell someone that that point is the middle? It was on Friday we had it.
Those two like lines.
Yeah, what do we call them? What do I call them? I heard it. Tick marks. If you now add the two tick marks, now you know M is the midpoint. So M is, and I'm going to use MDPT to abbreviate midpoint of segment AB. Okay, story problem. Again, a picture is going to be extremely helpful in geometry. We're in a 3-mile race. The first checkpoint is 6,000 feet from the beginning. The second checkpoint is midway between the first checkpoint and the end of the race. Find the distance between checkpoints. Okay, so let's draw a picture. I'll call S the start of the race. And then 3 miles down is the end of the race. I'll use E for end. And we know that's a total of 3 miles. Do you know how many feet are in a mile?
5,000 something.
You're right.
5,000 like 200.
Oh, you're getting better.
And 84.
Oh, you're close. It's 5,280. You remember something. Okay, so off to the side here, we're going to need that conversion. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Oops, sorry. Yep, 5,280 feet. All right, so what do I want to add to my picture here? It says the first checkpoint is 6,000, is at 6,000 feet. So I'm just going to estimate what 6,000 feet is. I'm just going to call it right here. I'll use F for first. 6,000 feet. Then it says the second checkpoint is midway. What does midway mean? Right in the middle. It's midway between the first checkpoint and the end of the race. So we'll call it right there. I can't use S, I already used S. I'll use T for 2. Checkpoint 2. What do I need to add to this picture to show that T is in the middle? The tick marks. FT and TE. It was midway between the first and the end. Okay, find the distance between checkpoints. We're looking for this right here. I'll call it X. So if that one's X, what can I put over here? X. They're the same. I don't have to introduce a new variable. Okay, we need to set up an equation. Anybody have it for us, or what we need to do next? Using our segment addition postulate, I've got the 3 miles. I've got 6,000 feet, and then X feet and X feet. This would be in feet. What am I going to have to do to this before I start setting up my equation? What?
6,000 or 5,280.
Oh, you want to go back into miles? That would be tough. It's easier to go into feet, I think. You would not be wrong, but that's the bumpy road. Do we know how many feet we're going? I know how many miles I'm going. Can I figure out how many feet I got to go? By doing what?
3 times 5,000.
Yeah, we're going to go 3 times 5,280. I'll get that number for us, if you don't have a calculator handy. 3 times 5,280. We're going a total of 15,840 feet. Now you should be able to write an equation that'll help us solve for X. How about Haley? Think you can write an equation for us? No? Hunter? No? Heavenly? Equals? You're close. You're trying to do the steps. I want the equation first before I do any work. How can I relate this, 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 and this? How about Maddie Kowalski? No? Alex?
6,000 plus X equals 15,840.
You were so close. He said 6,000 plus X, so we didn't include that, equals 5,840. Oh, we got a live one in the back. Kristen?
Is it X times 2?
Yes. X plus 6,000 has to equal this total of 15,840. So you're close, Alex. You've got to include this part too, because all 3 of these parts have to equal the race. So 6,000 plus 2 X's have to equal 15,840. And now we're back. Geometry's done. We're back to algebra. What's my first algebra step? Somebody's going to give me this. Megan. That sounds good to me. Subtract 6,000. So I'm going to come over here. I'm running out of room there. 2x equals, I'll get this for you. I don't think you have a calculator yet. Subtract 6,000. Oh, 9,840. Then what, Donnie? Divide by 2. X is 4,920 feet. I think it was just easier because we had the miles and the feet. You got to go to one or the other. And Nick was fine when he said, oh, we could divide this by 5,280 and get that into miles. That would have been fine. But then we got decimals to work with, and it was just easier, I think, to go into feet. Okay, next definition. Segment bisector is a ray, segment, or line that intersects, that should have had an S on it, that intersects the something of a segment. Think about it. Segment, bisector. The midpoint. Yep. So, if you had a segment, AB, and we were to, what we're going to do down here, construct the segment bisector, we're looking for a line, a segment, or a ray that goes right through the middle of it. Like, I'll make it a line this time. And then what would I have to add to my picture to show that that's going right through the middle? The tick marks. You always got to have tick marks when you've got equal parts. So I'll call it line M. So we'd say line M is the segment bisector of segment AB. Okay, patty paper construction. On Friday we did the compass and straight edge construction. This time we're doing patty paper. We're going to construct the segment bisector for, I don't know why I left that blank, segment AB. So what I want you to do is take your patty paper, fold it in half, because we're going to write the stuff on the other side. We're going to do the construction on one half, and then we're going to write all the information on the other half. Okay. On the left-hand side, I want you to draw a segment AB. I'm going to get a pencil, though. That wax paper, the pen doesn't work very well. If I can find a pencil. Oh, here's one. So draw a segment with a straight edge. Well, if you need a ruler, come up and grab a ruler. I gotta sharpen my pencil. Oh, I got caught with that. Okay, so draw a segment, any kind of segment you want. You can make it look like mine. The endpoints are going to be A and B. Okay, let's darken in the endpoints. It's going to be easier for when we do the construction. You know, normally they wouldn't do that, but for us, when we're going to construct, it's going to be easier. Okay, now because patty paper, you can kind of see through it. You can pick it up and see through it, through the back. Without using any tools, just folding. How can I find the middle of segment AB? Just by folding. Nick?
Line the two dots of A and B together.
Yep, we're just going to line them up, because you can see through if you need to hold it up to the light, but you want the two dots to overlap perfectly, and then crease your paper. Fold it. And that fold line will be the middle. So everybody see it? Does everybody need help? So get your 2 points to overlap, crease the paper good, open it up, we're going to start labeling some stuff. So mark the point where that fold was at, we'll call that M. Let's make a line that's right on top of the fold. Need the arrowheads for the line. Let's put another point on that line. Let's go G. And then what should I be putting on my segment here to show that that's in the middle? Tick marks again. Over here, I want you to be able to tell me 3 things that are happening in this picture that we labeled up. Tell me anything you know that happened in this picture, geometry-wise. Anybody? Yes.
A segment bisector.
What's the segment bisector? Nope, that's not the segment bisector. The segment bisector has to be a ray, a segment, or a line.
Oh, segment MG.
Segment MG. Okay, I'll go segment MG. Could I have said line MG? Could I have said ray MG? Any one of the 3. What do you want me to tell him? What are you saying that is now? Oh, it's fine. Segment MG is the, what'd you say? You said it right. Bisector of what?
AB.
Segment AB. Okay, that was the long, difficult one. The other 2 are super short. What else is true in this picture that we marked up? Just by the symbols we used. Nick?
AM and MB are congruent.
That's it? What are AM and MB? What objects are they?
Segment.
Segments. Segment AM is congruent to segment MB. Perfect. And there's one more thing we know happening in that picture on one of our definitions today. Hunter? That's what I was looking for. M is the midpoint of what? Segment AB. Yep. Good. Okay, that's going to, after we're done, you're going to tape that right in this section on your notes. Just tape it down so it's there. Okay, so hold on to that while we finish up the 2 examples on the back, and then later you can come up and get tape and tape it down. Okay, using our definitions in algebra, we're going to use a lot of algebra and geometry. Draw a picture. D is the midpoint of segment EF. And then we're going to find some stuff. What do I need to draw to have this in a picture form? What do I got to have on my paper? Avery?
Segment EF.
Segment EF. Doesn't matter how long you draw it. E, F, then what? Add to it, Avery.
Midpoint.
The midpoint. We're going to label it D. What do I need to add to the picture to make that the midpoint?
Tick mark.
Tick marks. Oh, I don't think I gave you enough information here. Where are you at? Oh yeah, I didn't. Find. Okay. The information I didn't give you right there is that this is 4x plus 6, and df is 7x plus 9. So because I'm trying to find some lengths, and I've got an unknown in there, I've got to write an equation. What equation can I write? What do I know about those 2 pieces? Lucas?
4x plus 6 equals 7x plus 9.
You are right. Because it's a midpoint, it's in the middle, these 2 pieces have to equal each other. So the equation is a simple one. 4x plus 6 has to equal 7x plus 9. And then your algebra skills. Crystal, what's my first step? And what do you want to do? I like that. Subtract 4x. 6 equals 3x plus 9. Holly, what's next? Perfect. What's 6 minus 9? Negative 3 equals 3x. Now what? Last step. Divide by 3. X equals negative 1. Is it okay to get a negative x value? Yeah, it's okay to get a negative x as long as I don't get a negative distance. If I get a negative distance and something went wrong. If I substitute negative 1 back in here, what am I going to get? What's 4 times negative 1? Negative 4 plus 6 is? 2 is a good distance, so I get ED is 2. Do I get the same thing over here? 7 times negative 1 plus 9? 2 again. Got it right. So don't panic if you get a negative x. X wasn't the answer I was looking for. I was looking for the length. You got to plug it back in. Okay, looks like the last one is very similar. M is the midpoint of FG. Draw a picture. So you want segment FG. I've got M being the midpoint. That's the middle. So FM is 4x. F to G is 24. Find x. There's a couple different equations you can start out with here. Think about an equation, write down what you think is going to work, because I think we're going to get a couple different ones and they're both going to work. Write down something you think is going to work here for an equation. If you need to scratch it out after, you scratch it out after. You just write something down to start with? What'd you try, Hannah? You think 4x, which is, let me cover it up, right there, equals that whole thing of 24. No, that doesn't work for us. Tori, did you write something down?
8x equals 24.
Okay, where did 8x come from?
Both 4x.
This one's 4x, we can call this one 4x. They didn't have to tell us that. We know by tick marks with those. So she said 8x equals 24. That will work. Does that make sense, Hannah?
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody write anything different than that one? Because there's a different equation you could start with. Anybody come up with something different? Nobody? Hunter?
4x plus x equals 24.
Nope, can't go there. You cannot. If this one's 4x, this one has to be 4x. If you know this is in the middle and you know the whole thing's 24, what do you know half of it is? 12. You could have done 4x equals 12. I was thinking somebody would come up with that, but no. All right, divide by 8, what do we get? And that is what I asked for. Find just the value for x. Didn't ask you to plug it back in. Okay, your homework assignment today. Geometry. Here we are. Page 17. 16 to 19. 21 to 23. 25. 27. 31. 32. 37. 38. 39.